Hello student, this is the second lecture for temperature measurement. In this lecture, I am concentrating my lecture to electrical methods of temperature measurement. In temperature measurement, if we use the electrical methods, basically there are three measuring instruments: thermocouple, RTD and thermistor. Now I am going to tell you that RTD and thermistor both are passive devices. Both are passive devices means for temperature measurement using RTD and thermistor we need power supply, while thermocouple is active device. Active device means for temperature measurement using thermocouple there is no need of power supply. How? Let us see. First, what is thermocouple? Thermocouple is actually formed by two dissimilar metallic conductors. Here in the diagram, you are able to watch that there are two wires. First is of copper wire and second is of iron wire. Okay, if we join the two ends of these two wires, then there will be two joints. So first joint is known as junction 1 and the second joint is known as junction 2, and these two junctions play major role for temperature measurements. How? If this junction 1 is at lesser temperature compared to this junction 2, which is in higher temperature. So that higher temperature junction is known as hot junction and the lower temperature junction is known as cold junction. Then what will happen if there is a temperature difference between these two junctions? Then there will be induction of EMF. There will be induced EMF. EMF means electromotive force. And what is electromotive force? Since you are watching that it is a closed loop which is not having any battery source or any power supply, but it is a closed loop. So what you will watch that, as I have told you, this is active device. Without having any power supply, there will be a current flow. How? Since there is an induction of EMF, electromotive force, and this activity is known as thermoelectricity, means generation of electricity due to change in temperature. The magnitude of the induced EMF depends upon the temperature difference. If the temperature difference between the two junctions will be greater, then the voltage will be greater. Here you will connect, if you will connect multimeter in voltmeter range, then you will watch that one terminal you put here in the cold junction and another in the hot junction. Then you will watch that between these two junctions you will be able to watch one DC voltage. Okay. So this is the operation of thermocouple, which is an active transducer. How it is transducer? Due to change in temperature, there is a generation of voltage directly between these two junctions, cold junction and hot junction, and this effect is known as Seebeck effect. This operation, the principle, or you can say the theory of thermocouple is based on this Seebeck effect, this one. Okay, which state that if a circuit is formed consisting of two dissimilar metallic conductor, a current flows in the circuit. Okay, I think you have understood in a proper manner. Now move forward. Now, which are the materials? Which are the metals which can be used for making thermocouple. So here is the list of metals which are arranged in this manner. Here, nickel, cobalt, plutonium, platinum, uranium, copper, manganese, titanium, and these are so many different type of metals, and this is the sequence. Means if we form the thermocouple by using beryllium and nickel, then the temperature difference will produce very little amount of voltage. But if we join this nickel and this arsenic, which is having a large gap, then large voltage will be produced. So according to their temperature sensitivity, these are arranged in a sequence. If you are choosing the nearby metals, then the voltage will be lesser, and if you are choosing the metals which are in this sequence far apart from each other, then the voltage induction will be major. I think in very short I have tried to explain you the Seebeck effect, which is responsible for the generation of electricity due to temperature change. In thermocouple, couple means two wires are there which are connected together by at two ends. The two ends are known as junctions. Now we move to the next measuring instrument, that is thermistor. Thermistor word can be understood as thermal resistor. These are actually thermally sensitive variable resistor. Variable resistor means in size also they are very small and can be put anywhere. At the same time, the resistance variation is different at different applications. Thermally sensitive variable resistor made of certain conducting and ceramic like semiconducting materials. Thermocouples are made up of only metals, conductors, while thermistors are also formed by using semiconducting materials, and mostly formed by semiconducting materials. Here the word is negative temperature coefficient. Thermistors are of two types: positive temperature coefficient thermistor and negative temperature coefficient thermistor. What is the meaning of temperature coefficient? If it is positive temperature coefficient means if the temperature is rising, then there will be positive change in resistance. And the meaning of negative temperature coefficient means if the temperature rises, resistance decays. I think you have understood. So mostly semiconducting material shows this negative temperature coefficient of resistance. The formula for final resistance change is shown here in this one. This is the formula for thermistor. R is equal to R0. R0 means resistance at reference temperature, and this is exponential. Exponential means e to the power beta multiplied by a subtracted value, which is 1 by t minus 1 by t0. So this is the formula that you have to learn. Okay. So depending on the negative temperature coefficient or positive temperature coefficient, the application also varies. Now here you are able to watch the different shapes which are commercial forms of thermistors. What you are watching in this page, it is visible, but these thermistors are of very minute size. in your mobile, in your laptop, these thermistors are inbuilt for as a temperature sensing element. It is bead. Bead means moti. So this is glass coated bead. It is difficult to handle in hand also. It is such a minor shape bead. This is disc type and this is rod type, which are having two leads. These are the conducting leads. These are the leads. These are the leads. These are the leads. So if they are supposed to the change in temperature, the internal material will have resistance change, and due to the resistance change, there will be, if these 2 points are connected in a closed loop, then there will be change in current, and that can convey the message to the measuring scale. Okay, so this is thermistor. Now again I am jumping to thermocouple. In thermocouple, there are two different laws. First law is law of intermediate metal. First law is law of intermediate metals. I am describing the law for thermocouple here. Now if there are three alloys, taking a single conducting metal, in place of single conducting metal, if we are using the alloys, then we get better result, better sensitivity of temperature. So here you can see there is alloy A, alloy C. There is alloy C, alloy B. This is one thermocouple, this is another thermocouple, and this is third thermocouple. Now, if alloy A and alloy B are two ending points and alloy C is common. See here, in the first one, thermocouple 1, alloy A and alloy C is making two junction T1 and T2. Alloy C and alloy B. So for these two, alloy C is intermediate alloy or intermediate metal. Okay. So if we are measuring the temperature change for by using these two combination, this is the first figure, this is the second figure. So what you will get, the combined effect will produce this third one. Means the third picture is having alloy A and alloy B. Now this is the EMF which is produced in temperature 1 and temperature 2 difference, which is the two junctions of alloy and AC. So it is written as EAC, and here it is ECB. Okay, A means alloy A, C means alloy B. Here C means alloy C and B means alloy B. So taking the sum of these two EMF, we can directly have these alloy A and alloy B junctions, which will give this formula. If we are having only one this thermocouple which is having A and B metallic contact, so if any time we are not able to have this A-B combination and we are having one AC combination and CB combination, so by taking the sum of these two combinations EMF, if we will add, we will get this one. So this is the law of intermediate metal, in which if these two different metallic junctions are not available, A and B are not available, any intermediate means in the sequence from lowest value to the highest value, if any in between alloy is taken, and we can combine like these two different thermocouples, and the induced EMF values can be added, and then we will get the EAB, means which is actually required. So this is the law of intermediate metals.